December 17th, Saturday. Just sitting inside watching YouTube videos because it is snowing pretty good out there. Been heavy snow all night. It's been heavy, but at the beginning of the snowstorm, it was like warm enough that it was kind of melting as it was coming down. But last night it got colder, and now it's cold enough that it's pretty much sticking. We're getting some good snow. I mean, we probably have 2.5, 3 inches. Really sticky, heavy stuff. So it's the first snow. Like, we had one snow that like was here for like a week, but then it melted. So it's the first snow that's on the driveway right now. So I gotta let it compact down and freeze over, because this first snow you always get all kinds of stones and gravel with. When you go to shovel it up, you gotta kind of like just skim the top, which is what I'll do. I'll just go out there and skim the top and try not to go all the way down to the ground. Yeah, I love it when it's snowy like this. Hang out at the window and look out the window. Enjoy the wood stove burning behind me, and it's just nice. I don't know, there's something about, like, when you're stuck in the cabin and you get cabin fever, for me at least, your cabin fever goes away completely on days when it's snowy, because like, and on days where it's rainy, because you kind of have that feeling like, oh, I have to be inside, you know, like when you're inside and you don't have to be inside, you know, that's when I usually get cabin fever, because I'm like sitting here thinking of what I need to go do or something to go do and get motivated to go do something. That's when you're kind of like, oh yeah, it's just like the same old thing every day. But on winter, snowy winter days, it's not like that for me. For some reason, I just feel like, oh yeah, inside the cabin by the stove is where you're supposed to be when the weather is like this. Yeah, you don't see any animals out either when it's like this. You see the animals come out the day before, and you see them come out like, you know, like 24 hours after this all stops. But all the animals stop moving too, because, you know, even though the temperatures aren't that bad out there, it's just so wet and everything. Nothing wants to get wet in the cold temperatures. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is what Maine's supposed to look like, you know. A snowy picture out the window of a cabin. This is definitely what I've always pictured Maine to look like. It should be a nice one. It started yesterday sometime on Friday, and it's going to end Sunday afternoon, so it's a pretty long one, but we're probably only going to get 6 inches because it's like wet and kind of like, it's not really that cold. It's like probably like 32 degrees right now, and it was like barely that yesterday. So it's really not cold enough, but the temperatures are going to drop and get cold right after this as soon as the weather clears. But we're still getting a lot of warm weather. Like, it's weird, when the cloud cover comes in, we get like much warmer weather than we seasonally should. You know, that's why we're getting a lot more rain. It should be snowing every single time we get anything right now at this time of year, but we have been getting rain. We got some rain just the other day. So hopefully that's done. Hopefully the temperatures have changed, and we're getting some Siberian wind push this week. So hopefully that's going to like kick winter into overdrive, and all the snow will stay, and I can start cutting firewood with the sled. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to switch over from that cart to the sled. I gotta cut like probably another 4 or 5 cords of wood still, so that gives me something to do all winter and gets me out of the cabin. So I'm looking forward to there being some snow on the ground so I can get back to cutting firewood. It is nice out there. Looks beautiful. Yeah, December, almost Christmas. And on February 26th, I've been out here for 3 years by myself, which I am gonna have to figure something out. I'm ready to go do something else, but I don't know what yet. We'll figure that out. I have to figure out what I want to do. Like, I kind of want to go on a train trip, like empty all the valuables out of the cabin and then go out for a train trip for a couple months and go and see some things and then come back to the cabin, and yeah, maybe I'll feel a little rejuvenated. But 3 years out here by myself, yeah, I want to put a couple more cabins too, so I can convince family members or somebody to come and live out here too, so be easier for security purposes and everything, and it'd be nice to have somebody else up here. hang out with. And yeah, this is a big property. I need to get more buildings out here, more people in my family living out here, you know, for free now that the property is paid for. Like, it's a good place to live. It's just way out in the middle of nowhere, so everybody's like, why would I want to live out there? But you know, a free place is a free place. And some of my nieces and nephews are getting to that age where they're gonna need a free place, I'm sure, and then people will start appreciating the fact that I have this property. That's the plan, though. Or maybe I'll just be out here, you know, another 10 years by myself. I don't know, we'll see. But it's snowing like a mother out there today. It's looking good. Uncle Dave, DC's Adventures, 2022, Maine. Well, it's 6:30. It's winter, so sun's still not quite up yet. But as you can see, it is a crazy mess out here. All the trees are covering the driveway, so I got to start working on clearing this. But it was really weird. Oh, I got the headlamp on, so I just shine in your eyes. I was really weird. The plow truck came all the way up to right up by my driveway, and then he backed all the way down the road and turned around. So I don't know, there might be a snow drift out there that's too big for that piece of equipment he usually uses. It's only like 6 inches of really heavy snow. So if it was light fluffy snow, this would be like 2 feet of snow. But it's pretty heavy stuff, so it's only about 6 inches. But I don't know, his equipment probably should have been able to push that. But yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna start getting this cleared. I was trying to get some pictures when the sun came up, but I want to get a pathway cleared to the road so I can at least see how crazy the road is out there. See why he didn't get it cleared. I want to know why he had to turn around. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, that's where the driveway is, right in front of the vehicle here. So as you can see, I got a lot of clearing. I got to take a clearing stick and knock all those trees. I'll knock them all with a stick, and all that snow will fall down and they'll spring back up. These gray birch do this every time we got a really wet, sticky snow. But yeah, crazy snowstorm yesterday. It's still going. It's not going to stop until tomorrow afternoon, but it's only snowing lightly now. I wonder why the plowman had to turn around. I got to get out to the road and find out. Oh, this is what the road looks like. That's why the plow truck stopped and went backwards. He's got to get a saw to saw through that. But I'm going to go grab the electric saw and I'll start cutting some stuff out of the way. Might go through and cut all the tops off of these trees from across the street, so next time it snows, you know, it's these tops that drag them down. So if I can cut the tops down while they're bent down, I can probably get this so it doesn't keep happening. Oh, it looks like there's a tree in the road down there too. So yeah, this is just my section of road, so this whole road through town is probably really messed up. So yeah, that's what a snow day looks like in northern Maine. This is a pretty good one. I'm gonna try to knock the snow off of this tree, see if it'll pop up, and if it doesn't, we'll go get the saw and cut it out of the way. Yeah, big snow. Really big snowstorm moved through, and a portal to Narnia opened up. It's a snowy ice tunnel of doom. It goes about a quarter mile back. And then on the other side, you reach Narnia. But seriously, this is what my property looks like after 3 days of snow. And this road is pretty much non-existent. You should see the second half of the road by the shed out back. I was just hauling back there. It's quite a truck to get back there though with the snow this deep. But yeah, it's like the whole road was covered. I had to knock all these trees off of the road so they don't, if they stay down all winter, then they'll be ruined. I'll have to cut them. So I knocked all the snow off so they'll spring back, and then hopefully we get a day of sun sometime in the next couple days, and it'll knock all the snow off and get it all cleaned up, and hopefully all these gray birch trees will pop back up for me. But yeah, the sun's going down right now, so it's getting kind of grainy. Man, you can't even see the outhouse over there. Absolutely crazy. I got the driveway that leads to the cabin pretty much all cleared up. And my neighbor Joe came over with a snowblower hooked onto the tractor. And he only has to do 2 passes with my driveway with that big wide snowblower. So I had already shoveled it twice, but it was still snowing last night when he showed up, and he came and cleared the rest of it. So I had a nice, good open clearing to get through. But yeah, winter cabin in Maine. Now that was a crazy snowstorm, and it's a week before Christmas, and the day after Christmas, I'm supposed to go down and visit home, see my family maybe, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. Because now there's a Siberian cold front pushing down from Russia, and apparently it's going to drop a lot more snow and a lot more cold weather, and it's going to get really messy here. So we're going to have like 2 days, 3 days of clear weather, and then we're going to get 3 or 4 days of snow again. So I figured this year was going to have a lot of snow. The last 2 years, my first 2 years out here, full years, the winters were really mild, and I kind of got lucky. In 2019, the season that I first bought the property and moved out here, I went home for the winter, and that winter they had like 9 or 10 feet of standing snow. On the road, there was snow up to the top of the pole lines. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't stay out for that one, because I was not prepared for that. I did not have enough firewood for that first year. But I have plenty of firewood now, and I think it's going to be another snow year like that. Probably get like 4 or 5, maybe even 8 feet of standing snow here, which 8 feet of standing snow is almost above that window. So I don't know what that would be like. Eventually the snow will get so deep it's going to be hard for me to keep my trail to the outhouse and everything going. I haven't had that problem the last 2 years because it was mild, but it ain't mild right now. It's definitely nice and snowy. I'm gonna take a picture for a thumbnail. Figured give you a little look at what the shed looks like. Greenhouses. Yeah, there's another like 200 feet of road right there, but it's all covered with those damn trees. So we'll see if it doesn't get warm in the next couple days, warm enough to knock that snow off. Then those trees will stay like that all year, which means they won't pop back up next year. So if that happens, I'm going to be cutting a lot of birch down next year. You know, I like those birch. They were really nice, but once they get that size, this is a gray birch, so it doesn't get much thicker than that. It just gets tall and dangly, and then eventually they'll just break. So they might be getting to the end of their lives, but I wanted to wait until I had a better wood chipper, because I want to use all that organic mass that I'm gonna have when I take all those gray birch out. Swing you over here real quick, but you can see, like, I have like 15 acres of these gray birch that are all bent over like this. And I really like that. It's a really nice place for upland birds, because it's just nice leaf trees, and there's no spruce or anything in there. So all the grouse and stuff, you know, use that as one of the places they hunt for food during the day. So I get a lot of birds in there. But if I had a grinder or a chipper, I could probably make enough compost for the next 5 years. If I ground all that up, you know, it's like 10 to 15 acres of that I could grind up. And then I could open another 10-acre field. I'd have a view all the way to the back of the property from the cabins if I did that. I didn't really want to do that, as I like having that wall of trees. It's really good hunting in there. It's good habitat for animals. But if it stays cold, you know, it's December 20th today. It's right before Christmas, and it's gonna snow again, a really heavy snow this week. So all these trees might just break in half, or they might just lay right down, and I might have no choice. I might have to just cut my way through them to clear the road, and I might have to butcher pretty much that whole lot of gray birch in there. So we'll see. I was hoping that today and tomorrow the sun was going to come out. It came out for like 20 minutes, maybe an hour today, but I went to town. It's only noon. It's already cloudy and everything. So yeah, kind of sucks. I was hoping the sun was going to come out today and tomorrow, and the wind was going to blow enough to shake all these trees clear before the next storm. but I don't think that's gonna happen. So they're probably all gonna lay down for the whole season, which means they won't pop back up. You know, you gotta really pop them up right after the storm. If they stay like that all winter, they won't come back up. They'll stay like that forever. So yeah, these trees are, it was 7 years when I moved here. As for, that's 11. It's been 11 years since they cut this land, and they cut it really flat. And when I moved here, it had been 7 years, and these gray birch were only half the height that they are now. All the trees out here were only half of the height that they are now. So it's crazy in 3 years that this whole property filled in. But it was well on its way. You know, those first 6 or 7 years, it takes the longest. And then every year a tree will grow a lot more, exponentially more every year. So now they're growing really fast. Like those trees by the outhouse there that are like 30 feet tall, they were only half that height when I moved out here. That was a small bunch of trees when I moved out here. So that's been 3.5 years. But yeah, it's crazy out here. I guess I can try to walk back to the cabin with you guys, but you can see I just have a little goat trail here in the snow. But it is crazy because the road is all covered over. It's like a little winter portal to a winter wonderland. Yeah, see, all these trees come over. I had to knock them all off too, because you couldn't even get through here the first day of the storm. But I came through here with a stick and I knocked all the trees off. But now I have this like little pathway here. I have to get pretty low on some spots. Yeah, this is the lowest spot right here. No coyote tracks. Which I figured the coyotes would take this road this last couple days because it's the only area that's cleared. So I figured they'd be on here, but there's no tracks right now. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Hopefully I didn't shake you up too much going through there. But yeah, that's what the road looks like. Totally messed up. Get a gimbal for this thing. And there's the sweet little cabin with the chimney smoking. Home sweet home. I'd say this cabin is a little bit smaller than you'd want, especially if you had 2 people, it'd be a little too small. But I think if you had a 16 by 30 small cabin, shed cabin, that'd be big enough for 2 people to be perfectly happy in. And then you could put a small closet at the back and a small bathroom at the back. Mine doesn't have a bathroom or a closet. So the next building I get is going to be 28 feet. This one's 24. And I use that extra 4 feet for a little closet and a little bathroom. Just so you can take a dump, you know, in a composting toilet in its own little room. Because right now I just pull the curtain, you know, right behind the door. Right behind the door, the entrance to the cabin, I have the shower there. So I pull the shower curtain, and if, you know, during the winter I use the composting toilet in there a lot. But it's such a small space that it sucks. You know, you don't really want to go to the bathroom in a small space like that that's open. It kind of like, it's just gross, you know, even though there's no flushing toilet, so you don't have to deal with that, but still kind of gross. Other than that, you have to be in the outhouse, which some days the outhouse is absolutely miserable. I mean, at 5 in the morning, you have to go to the bathroom when you wake up, and it's -20. The outhouse is the most miserable place you've ever thought you've ever been. Sometimes you're sitting in that outhouse when it's -20, and you're thinking it would be better in jail. Yeah, so outhouse is something that takes getting used to. Definitely sucks during the winter. You gotta keep the toilet seat in the cabin so it's nice and warm, so you at least have a warm toilet seat when you go out there in the winter. But yeah, it still sucks. Like, it's so cold sometimes you can barely catch your breath and you're trying to squeeze one off. So there we go. That was a winter storm, and Christmas is this week, and I'm gonna stay up here for at least the storm part, and I don't actually need to be there for Christmas. It'd be nice to see my nieces and nephews open presents, but I don't really need to be there for that, but I'd like to see all my family the week of Christmas at least. But it's gonna be a crazy storm again here this week, so I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna deal with the storm and deal with snow removal. Lots of firewood, so that's not a problem. I'll see you guys later. And for anybody who's wondering, you can cook pizza bites on a frying pan on a wood stove or on a hot plate. So any college student who has been wondering how they're gonna cook their pizza bites with no microwave or oven, well, you put them in a pan like this, and then you cover them. And I basically leave them covered like that until I can smell them. You know, once you can smell them, they'll be kind of soft and cooked on one side. And soft means that they're pretty much cooked all the way through from the steam. You know, they'll be kind of soft on the top too because of the steam. And then you flip them over and take the top off, and then they'll be crunchy on one side that you flipped. And then you cook them on the other side until they're crunchy on that side. Without the top, you know, you only use the top at first to kind of steam them and get them cooked all the way through. And when you take the top off, flip them, and then get them crunchy. You don't want the top on, they won't get crunchy. So yeah, pizza bites on a wood stove. Delicious. I make cookies. These are cinnamon cookies, cinnamon sugar cookies. And I make them in this little waffle maker. See? That one's still cooking. And that's what I end up with. So they're perfect. And they really come out good. And I like my cookies kind of crispy, like a crunchy biscuit kind of. You know, like a cinnamon biscuit. So these are really good. You can like carry these around in your pocket and stuff in a little bag. And they're really good for bringing out into the woods. So yeah, that's how I make cookies at the cabin. Trying to eat some dinner, but I saw the sunset was getting crazy. Figured I'd come take some pictures. It's not quite there yet. Next like 10 minutes it'll probably really come out. But man, look at that. It's like with a snowy covered everything. It looks really cool, that pink color. And you know the clouds are like bluish. Yeah, it looks cool. Excuse me, probably come back in 10 minutes though, because it'll probably be a lot better. Get a picture.